Hi, I'm Katie Sky and welcome to my channel. More importantly, welcome to my new and very wet island of Scuttle. Scuttle is a tropical jungle pirate island, and I will go ahead and pop up the mood board for the island on the screen so that you can kind of get the vibes of this island. These are the villagers that I'm thinking for this island. Let me know what you think. Are there any cuties that I missed? If I did, leave them down below. And you might also notice that I don't have any flowers on this mood board, and there is a fantastic reason for that. I can't make up my mind. So if you have any ideas, please leave them below as well. I really don't have a clue of what color or what type of flowers I want to use on this island. And I didn't really use any flowers in the entrance, so I definitely need to figure that out for the next build because that's gonna have flowers in it. Before we get started, I also need to forewarn you. I experienced quite a few technical difficulties during this build, like a lot. I lost a good chunk of my pathing footage, so you unfortunately won't get to see me put the same code down 5 million times, so sorry for your loss of that riveting content. And I also lost pretty much all of my sound, so you will get to vibe out to some lo-fi while you watch me build this entrance. Did I mention that's what we're doing in this video? No? Whoops, my bad. Well, now you know, and let's get started. Ooh, it's a jump scare. So we are just gonna, this is all the pathing I was able to salvage. So right here, I'm just putting down a lot of pathing, and right now I'm working on making a little, kind of like a little island for a coconut tree to sit on. And it took a lot of brain power to figure out how that works. A lot of brain power. But, you know, welcome to the island of Scuttle. I'm really excited for this island. I've been wanting to do it for literal years, pretty much since this game came out. I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be tricky, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have some really cool ideas that I can't wait to try out. If you have any build ideas, definitely leave them below so that I can add them to the list. Back to what I'm doing on screen though. So I'm putting down the sand because you need the sand for the coconut tree. But I need to do it in a way where I can use the full tile pieces on the edges, because otherwise, if you didn't know this, if there's any transparent pixel on a tile, it then conforms to the in-game pathing, and I don't want that here. So we want to make sure that there's enough border that it doesn't conform to the in-game path of the sand. I definitely made this too big, but like I said, it took me a lot of brain power to try and figure out what I was doing for this. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a huge rectangle and we'll just leave it there. One thing that I love to kind of have on in the background, just when I'm doing random stuff, which is most likely an ADHD thing, but I love to put on like cozy long plays. There are several people that I really like to watch, and I just like to hear the in-game sounds. It's very relaxing to me, and it's almost like body doubling. So I did do my very first long play, and it was of me flattening this very island, the island of Scuttle. So if you want to check that out, there are 4 hours of some very riveting content, and I know that I've already put it on in the background to listen to while I just do chores around the house. So if you can get some use out of that as well, I'm ecstatic. Before we get too far into this build though, let me show you the inspiration not only for this island, but for this entrance build. I saw this, I don't even know how long ago, but I fell in love with this idea and I had to do it. And it's been floating in the back of my head for who knows how long. And I finally was like, no, we're gonna do it this summer. So here's the picture. And this is done by Kenodo. I know I'm probably saying that wrong, but I will leave their YouTube and their Instagram linked below because this build is fantastic. So it's essentially a pirate port on an island, and I think it looks so cool. And so I did change some things so it worked better for my island and kind of what I was going for. But this inspired me so much and I absolutely loved how it came out. And if you're curious about any of these codes, I actually made them all. It took me a long time, but I did make them, and I'm super proud of that. And in this picture, there is a little canoe situation. I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate a canoe like that, but I'm going to try. I've already tried and failed a few times, but I'm still working on it. But, you know, shout out to them. Amazing build. So that's where this entrance came from. Like, I definitely want to give credit where it's due. Amazing build. Love it so much, as I keep saying, but it was amazing. And so that's kind of the vibe for this. It's a pirate port. Maybe they found it, you know, while they were pirating ships in the ocean. I don't know. But they decided to settle here and create their own little community. That's kind of what I was going for anyways. And this is a smaller build and a shorter video for me. Because I was going off of this photo, it was, you know, I was just really fast. I didn't really have to think too hard about anything. So I kind of blitzed through it. I doubt that that's going to be the case for all of the builds I do on this island, because some of them are going to be real tricky. But I am trying to get a little bit better with not having such long videos, because I know some people really like the short videos, so I want to vary everything. But anyway, how are you? I hope you're doing great. It's really hot where I am. Although I was gonna say summer is in full swing, but summer's been in full swing since like May. You know, that's unfortunately what happens when you live in a desert. And I'm not a desert person, but I have to live here because it's where I live. Anyway, I hope that you're having a better summer than I am, because so far my summer has been hot. It has been pain-filled because I'm currently in physical therapy for my shoulder. I have tendinosis of my shoulder. So I've been in pain for a super long time. That's fun. It was getting better in physical therapy for a while. And then I don't want to say I relapsed, but I did kind of relapse. My shoulder started bugging me again. So we had to extend how long I was doing physical therapy. But hopefully in the end, it'll lead to me being pain-free. And that's the important part. And now we're just framing out kind of where the water ends with more dock, basically, just, you know, because water has to be against something. But I will say that little green line irritates the crap out of me because it breaks the illusion. And here I am, unable to see where I put the little stairs, so I keep running back trying to see where it is, but it was so dark and the tree was in the way, and I was like, I don't know if this is where I put the stairs. So I had to keep running back and forth, but we figured it out eventually. And my little celebration, and now we're gonna move on to this upper area where the resident services is. And we're just gonna start throwing down the castle items. So I'm doing the gray castle gate, and then I'm doing it with the medieval wall. I really wanted to do the medieval wall for this build, or really for this island, because of the cute little lantern it has on it. I don't know, it just gives me pirate vibes. And then we got to use the jail bars. And I did something very similar to this on Obsidian. So if any of you saw the island tour for that island or went and dreamed it, it's very similar to the entrance I did to the villager neighborhood on that island. So I was excited to do that again because I think it's really cool how you just can kind of skirt around the little jail bars. I don't know, I think it's cool. So I was excited to do it again on this island. And then I didn't make this code. This is the one code I didn't make because I cannot figure out skulls. And then I don't know why I did all of this behind the wall when I could literally just pick the wall up so that I could, see what I'm doing and you guys could see what I was doing, but we didn't, so we're just gonna deal with it. And I did put another tower up here just to give some vertical height because I thought it was looking a little bare, and then we pushed a singing cherry out of the way. I'm sorry, she was in the way, and she's obviously not staying. Love her, she's one of my tops, but she just does not go with a pirate island, in my opinion. And now we're just going to do the same thing on the other side, and then because I can't see what I'm doing, immediately put things in the wrong position. And then I did go ahead and pop a little candlestick, the golden candlestick on top, even though you can't see it when you get down, like from the floor, from the ground level. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't see it, but you know it's there. We all know it's there, right? So it still works. And then of course we just have to take down our little extra pieces of terraformings that I needed so that I could stand up there and put them there. So we don't need those anymore, so we got rid of those. And then we're just gonna mimic the front in the back so that we have a nice little entrance into the resident services area, the plaza. I don't know what I'm gonna do in this little middle area yet, so I just kind of left it. So if you have any ideas, let me know. And of course we have to do a little run around to celebrate finishing that section before we start placing some of these log stakes for the fence, so our fellow pirates don't fall into the ocean. It's definitely always about safety here. Always. OSHA does not need to show up here. We got it covered. And then I'm gonna use these tiki torches everywhere. I love the tiki torches, but it's so rare that I get to use them because most of the time they just don't fit the vibes. It fits the vibe. It fits the vibe very well for this island, and I'm going to use them everywhere. So you're gonna get sick of seeing me use them, that's for sure, but I'm excited. I will say one thing that is heavily influencing my island design to a certain degree is Pirates of the Caribbean. I loved those movies so much when I was younger, and so they're probably one of the reasons why I like kind of piratey things. So I'm definitely going to be leaning on that a lot for this. And one of the big things in there is rum. So that's what these little bottles are. They're obviously the bottles of rum. Am I a drinker? No, I really don't like alcohol. I don't like the taste of it. I don't really like how it makes me feel. If at most I drink maybe once a year, and that's generally when I'm on vacation visiting like aunts and uncles, and then I'm hanging out with my brother, and because he is a drinker, I will sometimes partake in the adult beverage, but it's very, very rare. Don't know that I've ever even had rum before, to be completely honest. But in my limited knowledge of pirates, they like rum, so rum they shall have. So we have their little cannons because they got to protect their port. They have their little barrels. Maybe it's full of gunpowder. They have their map. Maybe they've buried treasure on this island. I don't know. I guess you'll have to wait and find out. And maybe people shouldn't be firing cannons when they're a little bit tipsy, but pirates are gonna do what pirates are gonna do. So can't really control them. And then, of course, we need a place to sit. I don't know if they're watching the water or if they're just too tipsy to kind of get home, but they have a seat for whatever they need. And now we're just gonna do something very similar on the other side. I didn't want it to be an exact replica, but it is very similar. One thing I'm really excited for this island is that it's just gonna be so rainy so often because the summer months are always very rainy, and I love the rain in this game, as you can tell, because I have no issue with this rainy weather that we're having. It's actually my favorite. Later on in this day, I did have a thunderstorm. It was a lot of fun. I love the thunderstorms in this game. They're so cool. Anyway, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for the tons of, I say this now, for the tons of terraforming and waterscaping, because I think it's going to be really cool. I'll probably be over it by the time I'm done with the third build, but I think it'll turn out looking really, really cool. On Pinecone, my crutch word was cute, but I think on this island it's going to be cool, as you can watch me struggle with this medieval wall. You would think I would know how to place these really well after Obsidian, because I used so many of these castle walls. I still can't get the spacing right. I have no excuse. I really don't. But look at all of this. It's really coming together. Ignore the balloon in the background. We're not popping them, sorry. But let me know what you guys are working on. Are you doing a summer island? Are you doing the summer resort island challenge? I've been planning this build for months, so when I heard about that challenge, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And I'm like, I'm already doing a tropical island. I can't do another one. So I've been enjoying all of those videos though. So let me know, are you doing that challenge? Are you doing something else? You know I'm nosy. And we're just gonna start putting the last few finishing touches on this build when I can stop kicking up my own code. That would be great. And I really just am trying to block out some of this green underneath the banner light things. It doesn't look good with the green. I have to figure out a way to hide that. I might extend the boardwalk situation so that you can't see it. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you thought. What was your favorite part and what you're looking forward to seeing on this island, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!